stories connects us. Listen and be connected. Join us for the conversation meeting weekly at the intersection of community and culture. Hosted by Mario Nunez and Joe King Carter. Joey says he's got his, and I've got mine. And the question, I guess, that remains for everybody listening at home is, do you have yours? Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Wednesday. It's noon. You're listening to WMNF 88.5 right here in Tampa, Tampa's little community radio station that could and has been for the last 40 years. I mean, this is spectacular. We're broadcasting live, and we do this each and every Wednesday. This is The Conversation. My name is Mario Nunez, and as always, I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner, Joe King Carter. Joey.
Good afternoon.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. There's that tone, that voice that you're so familiar with. If you're listening to us on WMNF.org from anywhere in the world, be that Glasgow, Scotland, I don't know why that came to mind, or perhaps somewhere in the Middle East, maybe one of the Iranians, maybe Iran, because we do go everywhere.
Yeah, we do.
As long as you've got a Wi-Fi connection and you've got internet, you can listen to us from anywhere. And Honolulu, Hawaii, London, England, I mean, all of these places. Today, you're in for a very, very, very special edition of The Conversation. I mean, I know you can't see me unless you're watching us right now on Facebook, which you could if you went to my Facebook page, because we're broadcasting live, simulcasting from there. Today, we're going to be talking a little football. No, not American football. That other football that the rest of the world knows is football, and we, for whatever reason, refer to it as soccer. For those of you wondering, yes, I've got a bad case of World Cup fever, and I don't know what the antidote is. I don't know what the medicine is, but I'm not taking it even if they offer it. Joey, I'm looking at you, my brother, and there's something different about you today. You care to share that with the rest of, with the audience that can't see you?
My little arm sling?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What happened there, Joe?
So Thursday, I fell.
Oh, no.
As some people do occasionally. It's not an issue, but I broke my left arm.
Ouch.
Yeah. And, I have 3 observations to make.
Yes.
And the first one is this. Mm-hmm. I have great, deep gratitude for my life, so I'm not complaining. But I will tell you that, and I've been through pain in my life, but a broken bone at my age, or maybe any age, on a scale of 1 to 10 in pain is a 63.
Oh, here we go.
I mean,
let's ring a bell for the 63 pain meter.
Wow. And then number 2 is life one-handed. Let's pull up your pants one-handed.
Joey, what was the first thing I asked you when you told me you
tie
broke
your shoes
arm?
one-handed.
What was the first thing I asked you, Joey? Which arm was it, Joe?
Yeah, right.
I know you're severely right-handed.
Yeah.
And I was only praying and hoping that it wasn't your right arm.
Well, let me tell you what. The inconvenience level is pretty high.
Okay.
And
number 3?
The number 3 and the big one is this, that a shout out to Chris Curry and to Becky Yetaw and to Meredith Berwick and most importantly to Katie Blackman, who spent 6 hours in an emergency room with me. And these are not my relatives, folks. These are community members around me who were concerned. And I am a person of deep gratitude for being in that community and around that community. But what's most important is that I want to say a takeaway for all of you out there is this. Community is so important, ladies and gentlemen.
Hear, hear.
And we need to not shy away from it with AI and robotic friends in our houses. We need to be engaging in human interaction and community activity. And I got a big dose of it in this last week, folks.
Amen.
Yes.
Well said, Joey. So with that prelude, let me just say that the 2 gentlemen that we have in studio with us today, and you might not know who they are because we haven't even given you a hint. Unless you've kind of been following us on Facebook, then you already know. But speaking of community and bringing people together, Joey, in the mid-'70s, there was a wild group of footballers here in the Bay Area that brought a lot of us together. And we had more fun with these guys. You could almost say it was a kick in the grass. And with that, why don't we listen to something that might remind you of these 2 gentlemen?
The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, they kick the ball around. The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, then they fall on the ground. Oh, the rowdies, the rowdies, the rowdies are the kick in the grass. When the rowdies play soccer, is a sight to behold. You'd swear there'd be devils with magical toes. You'll laugh, you'll cheer, you'll leap from your seat when they kick with their heads instead of their feet. The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, they kick the ball around. The rowdies run here, the rowdies run there, then they fall on the ground. Oh, the rowdies, the rowdies, the rowdies are the kick in the grass.
Oh, does that just bring back memories? Listen, we have so much to talk about. We didn't want. There's another verse to that. There's another chorus to that, and I have to confess.
But then we would have had to pay royalties.
No, not just. Well, we'll probably have to pay them anyway. But I wanted to get to our two guests today who are going to share their stories of being rowdies. Two of them, both of them, and I went to a Rowdies game 2 seasons ago over at Al Lang. Joey, I never told you this, or maybe I did.
No.
But when they busted out that song, I had forgotten it completely.
Really?
It came back to me like the Beverly Hillbillies theme song. And I was dancing and rocking in my seat because I remember I had a visceral reaction to how much fun I remember having at Tampa Stadium when the lads in the green and yellow kits took to the field, took to the pitch, as it were. We're going to use the proper terminology today. So with that, let me just introduce, and Joey, I'm going to...
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Let me just introduce, and Joey didn't mention, he got a ride today to the studio by another one of those community...
That's right.
Community people that wrap their arms around him, Mr. Eddie Austin, who you might remember. This is where we need that... Mr. Eddie Austin, who was one of those rowdies I just mentioned. And the other gentleman who's seated right next to him, I'm looking right at him. Maybe you remember this name. It was so unique that I think maybe out of all the players, Winston DuBose, Clyde Best, Eddie Fermiani, Eddie Austin, Farouk Qureshi. Do you remember that name, Farouk Qureshi?
Farouk.
It was so cool and so different. All right, before we get to talking to the boys, the lads, as it were, let me just say for you guys, this 1975 was when the Rowdies made their big splash. We were, those of us that follow American football, we're just starting to learn about soccer-style kicking, because before that, everything was straight toe in the NFL. We had just been introduced to Jan Stenerud, just been introduced to the Gogolak brothers, Pete and Charlie, and of course, down in Miami, there was Garo Upremian. So we were finding out about what is a soccer-style kicker and what does that mean? Of course, now we don't have any soccer-style kickers anymore because they all kick soccer-style, so they're just kickers. When you go to China, there are no Chinese restaurants. They're all just restaurants, right?
Right.
So that's what we know about these two fellas. They brought us so much joy and so much laughter and so much fun because we were all fannies, let's face it. Welcome, Eddie Austin. Welcome, Farouk Qureshi.
Good afternoon, Joe. Good afternoon, Mario. It's
Yes.
great to be here.
Yes.
Farouk, let's hear that voice.
Well, thank you for having us today.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Excellent.
Joey?
Now, let's what we do here normally is we talk a little bit about your personal narrative, and today we're going to have, in the second half of the show, we're going to get around to some things that you are here hoping to communicate to the world. But let's start with you, Farouk. Where did you grow up?
I was born in Iran, but I grew up in London.
Yeah, let's get you a little closer there. Just roll up a little bit more. There you go. There you go.
I grew up in London.
Okay.
I came to the States at the age of 19 to attend college in upstate New York, and happened to be in the same town as Ed. Ed played at Hartwick College, which was the private school, and I played at the State University of New York, Oneonta, which was the public university.
Wow. And now that I'm really hearing you speak in a longer way.
You get that London? You get that London? It's leaking out, isn't it?
I hear both. Yeah, interesting. And you came here to play football?
I came to the States to attend college and play soccer.
Okay.
In college.
Mm-hmm.
So I played 3 years before coming to Tampa to play for the Rowdies.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And what was the college again?
State University of New York.
Oneonta.
Oneonta.
I did the research last night because when you look at it, it doesn't sound like it's spelled like it sounds. So I watched a couple of YouTube clips and I realized it was Oneonta.
Oneonta.
No, Oneonta.
Siblings in your family?
I am one of 7.
7. Wow.
Yes, second oldest.
And when you made that trip here at 19, was that? Tell me a little bit what that felt like. Were you excited? Were you afraid? Was it weird?
Actually, I was very excited
Yes.
because I was eager to
Football.
play, but also to further my education. It was a new frontier.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I had no idea that the States was as beautiful as it is. Flying into JFK, and then having to try and get upstate. I had no idea that I had to go from JFK into Manhattan and then take a Trailways bus. And
you're 19.
Right, because my whole concept of the United States was what I'd seen on television. And everything is in big cities like New York. So
Right.
I was thinking of this concrete jungle, but
Right.
once I
Not
got out-
Oneonta.
Not Oneonta. It's absolutely, it's a spectacular place, isn't it?
Yeah, and people don't realize who've not been there that upstate New York or all of New York outside of Manhattan is just one of the most beautiful states that you could ever be in. It's astounding, really, up there. Yeah,
It really is.
Catskills and all the things that are happening. So you're in Tampa by age 23.
23. Excuse me.
And what's happening in Tampa is a really big, brand new experimental frontier, isn't it? I mean, right?
Yes, absolutely. The Raiders were awarded NASL franchise in 74, started play in 75.
Same year the Bucks were awarded theirs
Yeah.
in 74.
Correct.
Things were percolating in 74, 75.
Absolutely. So now let's talk to Ed for a moment
Yeah,
and get
there's
you
Eddie.
both up here. So,
Hey, where were you born? Come on, give us the accent. Eddie, where were you born?
I was born in Glasgow, Scotland.
There it is.
And my parents emigrated when I was a wee lad to North Jersey.
I love it.
And it was a very ethnic community, so continued to play soccer there in high school and so forth. And beyond that, I actually went to college upstate New York in the same town of Oneonta, and both universities and colleges were right in the same
now
town.
you didn't know each other then,
No.
but you were there about the same
In the
time.
same circles,
we,
though.
we
Played
knew
against each other?
once we got there.
Once we got
Because
there.
we played against each other, and then we became very, very good friends.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I would go and visit. Ed would take me home to visit his family.
Oh, that's nice of you, Eddie.
you guys have been sharing this brotherly experience for 50 years.
Since
A long
1971.
time.
Yeah, since more than 50 for sure.
We were big rivals in college because both schools had strong soccer
Established,
teams.
yeah,
One
established.
year we were both in the top 10 in the nation.
Correct.
As D2, correct? D2?
No,
D1.
D1, oh,
Division I,
excellent.
yeah. So they had an excellent team. We had an excellent team, and it was a great rivalry. But after the season, we'd all play in off-season leagues together and so forth. That's how I got to know Farouk. Not only playing against him, but also as a teammate.
How wonderful. How wonderful.
And you're both, in a sense, immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
100%,
coming from
100%.
that different perspective a little bit. Yeah,
Sure.
Interesting.
Bringing all that football love and passion and knowledge with them, right?
Absolutely.
And we weren't there yet as a nation. I mentioned at the top of the show, and Joey, forgive me if I start tapping you on your left arm. I know it's broken. I'm
know.
grabbing him by his left arm.
No, it's fine.
Because he's sitting to my right, y'all, and he's
Yeah,
looking
no,
at
it's
Farouk
fine.
and Eddie, and I got to get his attention. I'm trying to say that
If I scream, you'll know
yeah,
that
then when
it's-
I touched him in the wrong place. So, but today, especially with the World Cup again in full swing, we're a different country when it comes to our relationship with football, soccer now, because back then it was a novelty.
Yeah.
I think that's what led us to find it so charming and fun, because we didn't even know the rules. We couldn't tell a set piece from a goal. We didn't know what was going on, but we knew it was fun.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. And I remember at a cultural level, there were even people making fun of it Because you know how we Americans can
Well,
be.
yeah.
You know, it's like, is that really a thing a man does? He doesn't
Yeah.
hit a ball with his head. I mean, what's going on there?
until they start to
Joey,
play.
that was pretty good. Well, who were you channeling there, by the way? Was that one of your uncles?
Yeah, that's one of my relatives. Yeah, that's right. So you both now you're both coming to Tampa at about the same time then.
Farouk came a year before me because I sustained an injury my senior year.
That's right.
And then I came to the Rowdies the following year, but was here for 75.
Farouk, were you the first choice of the first selection of the Tampa Bay Rowdies and brand new franchise in the NASL, right? NASL, correct?
That's correct.
And you were you like the first choice of the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the NASL selects from Oneonta State? You know how they do it now.
Right.
Was that you?
That was me.
Oh, let's go. Come on now. That's
Yeah.
why we remember Farouk Qureshi.
That's right.
He was the first pick. He was Leroy Selman was the first pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ever, as was Farouk Qureshi.
yeah.
But I will add, if I may, you know what the Heisman Trophy is?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Farouk was awarded the Herman Trophy, which is basically the best player in the country.
In 1974. And I'm glad you brought that up, Eddie, because it was in my notes. I was going to get to it eventually. No. I'm glad. Listen,
That's
you guys
awesome.
are brothers. You guys have shared life's experiences together,
have.
and you know each other's profiles personally. So I just had it in my notes because I think that's an incredible achievement.
By the way,
Now,
Mario has, I see now,
Copious
notes here. So, and we
I
only
stayed up
have-
late. I stayed up late.
And we don't have that much time,
Unfortunately.
But let's do this, if you don't mind. I think, and I hadn't discussed this with Mario, but Mario is a true sports fan in every way. I am a very kind of passive person with sports. I enjoy my sports, but not a big deal. Why don't we talk just before we go any further, because I can see we're going to go down this road. How football, as you call it, or in soccer, how it works for a person who doesn't know a lot about it. How are the leagues set up here in America? And talk a little bit about that.
Well, the game has come a long, long way since 1975. When we first came here, it was a soccer frontier. Farouk and I, as players, not only played professionally, but we spent a lot of time in the community, working in youth soccer, working with coaches, trying to bring the game to a level where there was more participation. And Farouk was the first pioneer, frankly, and he actually started the first youth soccer leagues in Tampa.
Wow.
And from there, it just grew. Now, you accelerate till today. It is a tremendously popular sport. It's a sport that kids can play, size, no size limitations, and it's free play. It's a fitness sport. Kids are loving it from the recreation level to the competitive level, to the high school level, to the college level, and all the way up to the pros. And today, we have two professional leagues. It's the Major League Soccer, and then also the United Soccer League. So the game has come a long, long way. And if you can see by our national team, they are one of the strong teams in the current cup. You want to add anything for it?
Well, when we came to Tampa, the North American Soccer League had standard contracts, and there was a clause in every contract that required players to make unlimited public appearances on
Sure.
behalf of the club to promote the sport. And there was no additional compensation beyond what you were
Your
contracted
recognition,
to be paid.
you get a free sandwich, and maybe you get a
Right.
free car.
And
maybe.
that's an important thing to
Sure.
remember, because while we preceded the Bucks by 1 year, and it was a good thing for us because we won the NASL championship in our first year.
Incredible.
Which really excited the city. People got behind that. But University of Tampa had discontinued their football program. So you had the St. Petersburg Times, the Tampa Tribune, all the local TV stations, and we were, I believe, like the 12th largest TV market in the country. And yet there wasn't a single professional sports team in town. When we won the championship, that season, we were on every single TV station. We were on all the radio stations. We were in the St. Pete Times, in the Tampa Tribune, and we were in all the schools, YMCAs, because players were required to make these appearances to promote the club and the sport. So,
and you had a
Wow.
tiger by the tail in the very first season because you won the championship. How amazing.
right, and with all due respect to the Bucks, You know, they went 0-26.
Thank you.
In
Farouk, you know your history. Maybe too well, I might add.
So one thing we do know about Americans is they do like a winner.
Yes.
Okay? You know, good or bad.
Yeah, no.
And that really helped us
Propel you.
to, create this following that we may not otherwise have been able to do.
Yeah.
It was astonishing, really and truthfully, Joey. I mean, Tampa Stadium was as full as it could have been at that
Yes,
time
yes.
for a sport that we had no idea what was going on.
I remember this,
But
yeah.
it was a happening. It was a thing that you wanted to go there because you wanted to see it, and you wanted to be seen seeing it, and you wore your green and yellow striped shirts because you wanted to be a fanny.
You're
And
part of something
the
new.
song was incredible.
Yeah.
The group of fanatics were called fannies. Come on, it was perfect.
Well,
and
the
then
other-
you won. And then you won.
Yeah.
And the other thing that as kind of a more outsider saw was that football, American football, and all the other sports in America were already at some level, they were huge, but they were also sort of tediously encumbered with a lot of stuff that goes along with it. You know what I mean? It's like that's all these endorsements and all this stuff. Whereas the Rowdies, it felt fresh.
It was fresh.
Like it was totally a new thing.
Brand new.
And it was an exciting thing.
Eddie has something to say.
It was like Camelot, to be honest. I mean, it was the players fell in love with
Well
this
said.
community. They fell
Well
in love
said.
with the fans. They were very close to the fans. Fans would invite players over
Accessible.
to dinner. They would go to their house. After the games, we would all meet up at the same restaurant and intermingle with the fans. And there was a real passion on the part of the players to carry the banner of Tampa into the professional game. Say, we represent Tampa. This is a great community. These are great citizens and individuals. So very, very passionate about winning for Tampa.
One of the most welcoming cities, I think, in the nation, and Joey and I have this conversation all the time. I think you guys helped to cement that because you gave and we gave, and it was just one of those circular kind of love fest things that let's keep this going. You won the outdoor championship, and then as if that wasn't enough, you went indoors and you won the indoor championship as well. So winning and winning and winning. My question to you, either of you, is how difficult was it for you to have to pay for your own drinks when you went out to eat? Because I'm guessing that you didn't have to pay for much.
Oh,
I'm guessing it was a pretty good time. And then we haven't even talked about Derek Smethurst who had the golden boot.
I think you're touching upon the party. The party, there must have been a lot of party going on.
75? In 1975, the year that we got introduced to
I don't want you
KC?
guys to reveal anything that you don't want to reveal.
Statute of limitations have expired, boys.
there you go.
But there must have been some fun times.
I'll just say, the Rowdies.
Oh,
The Rowdies.
By the way, the other thing I want to take cite as something I take away from what you both just said and said a moment ago is that you were having to sort of promote the game in the community. And you had to go do things, which probably a lot of athletes don't do as much. And I find it really interesting that you're both today community people. You're involved in your community. And so, you know what? Maybe you got lucky with a side benefit. What do you think of that, Farouk?
Well, to set the table, back in 1975, the North American Soccer League did not have, or the players did not have, a collective bargaining agreement.
CBA.
But baseball did, football did.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went out into the community to do these appearances, we didn't get paid any additional money. But if you were a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, you received $100 if you went out to do a public appearance. So needless to say, we blanketed the community with public appearances to promote the club and the sport. And you can compare that to baseball players and football players not having to do it because the CBA did not require it unless they got paid.
That's right.
So when I came, my contract required me to be a player, but I was also a member of the front office as the director of youth development. So when we finished training, I would go to the office and I would start scheduling public appearances for the players. Eddie mentioned about the youth leagues. We started setting up the youth leagues. We'd do clinics out at MacDill all throughout the community. So the players hated me because they would like to just go home after training, sit by the pool and have an iced tea or whatever. Sure. But I had other thoughts for them. And, they were very good about it. They did not. We didn't have players trying to avoid make public appearances.
Hearing Farouk describe the activities, and both of you guys had a flourishing career in administration afterwards. In other words, you became player. You went into admin. Let's just put it that way, and won awards for your efforts on the admin side. So football's been in you for the last 65 years plus. When you started playing as a little boy, a wee lad, and then all the way through your adulthood,
70 years.
And this is why,
Wow.
this is why the name Farouk Qureshi, right, sticks out, because of what you did to promote everything. And Eddie was with you every step of the way. Eddie was elbow to elbow with you, so it's not like he wasn't your partner in crime in this.
Listen, Ed won't tell you, but I will tell you. The reason soccer was implemented in Hillsborough County schools was because of the work that Ed did in the community and with the school system.
That's for you, Ed.
I'd already left by that time. I'd gone to Calgary and I finished my career there before moving back to Tampa. But Eddie worked relentlessly to get soccer into the Hillsborough County public school system.
And why'd you come back to Tampa?
Well, when I left, they had large...
Well, wait a minute. Why did you leave? Let's go.
Well, he had to go play with Calgary. Had to go play with Calgary.
Let's talk a little bit about that, and then come tell us.
Okay. Gordon Jago, who was the coach at the time,
Yes.
had told me that the following season, this was 1980, I wasn't going to be in his plans. I wasn't going to be on his roster. I felt that I still
Could contribute.
could contribute, so I decided I would move. Now, Al Miller, who was Ed's coach in college at Hartwick and was the first American to win a North American Soccer League title with the Philadelphia Adams in 1973, was the head coach at Calgary, the Calgary Boomers. Okay? Francisco Marcos, who had been responsible for the PR in Tampa, was also doing that now in Calgary. So Al wanted me to go play there, and I decided I'd go there. And when I went up there, I was a union rep for the Rowdies at the time, and I'd attend all these union meetings to discuss, whether we should strike or not strike. And when I went up to Calgary, I thought, I'm not just going to Canada. I'm going to be coming back to play most of our games in the United States. The day I moved up, it was day before Thanksgiving, I get up there and the union declared a strike.
Shut it down.
And they closed the border between Canada and the U.S.
Wow.
So I ended up playing for Calgary. We played across the all over Canada, against Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver, Montreal. We played each team 6 times that season. And when you're playing indoors, believe me,
that's a lot of wear and tear.
It's wear and tear, but also people have you don't forget when somebody's kicked you because you're probably playing them the following week.
That's almost like professional wrestling in a way, Ed,
Yeah.
I mean, Farouk, that's all we had here. You mentioned that the Rowdies came in as the first professional sports franchise that really captured our imagination. But before that, all we had was highlight and wrestling.
Right.
That's all we really had.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Ed and I were roommates as well, by the way. When I left, Ed and I were roommates with the Rowdies.
Wow.
So, Joey, ask him how difficult it is to make a sliding tackle indoors. Ouch!
I can't imagine.
Ouch!
Do you want to handle that?
Come on. I know you both sustained injuries throughout your career, and people don't realize how much of a full contact sport.
Hitting that floor.
No. Well, the floor and outdoors too, because all these guys wear, ladies and gentlemen, are little shin guards, and some of them wear the smallest of shin guards. I don't know. Do you guys wear protective cups?
No.
Or when you guys make the wall, that's why you're holding your stuff.
Private parts.
Okay,
Yes.
I got you.
It's all left out on the field, and no pads really, except
None.
shin guards. And we used to have this joke in soccer: when you get an injury, the athletic trainer would run out with a sponge and a bucket of ice water.
Throw water on you?
They called it the magic sponge. And they'd soak you up and they'd get back in there.
Wow.
I'm going to say this about the magic sponge, and then we're going to go to a little break here and remind everybody who we are and what we're doing today. But now, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, the magic sponge has given way to that spray canister with that cold spray, because now they come out. You might get kicked in the private parts. You might get a real bad noggin on your head. You know, when you go up to, you're playing up in the air and you go to head a ball and you hit the ball, and sometimes you'll hit your opponent's head and you'll clash of heads. Or sometimes you just have an ankle that twists out of shape. They come out with that magic spray can and they spray it on you. And I saw the funniest thing I've ever seen was a player was down. The spray man came out. He pulled his shorts out. He proceeded to spray down in there and did something with the spray. The player jumped, hopped, hop, hippity, hop, hop, and he went back on the field to play, though. I mean, you know what that Freezy spray is all about. Okay, let's do a little station identification and try to get over that image.
Hi, I'm Zara Muhammad.
And I'm Liaquat Khan.
You're listening to The Conversation with Mario Nunez
And Joe Carter.
on WMNF 88.5.
Tampa.
That was
They
a
were
wonderful show.
wonderful.
Last week, if you'd like to watch that show or listen to that show, you could watch it still, too, because it's on our Facebook page. You can definitely look at it in the archives, listen to it in the archives. Go to WMNF.org, navigate over to The Conversation, and last week's show will live in there for a little while so you can listen to it. Today, we're being joined in studio. This is one of the most fun shows. This is the day when we wish we had 4 hours to talk. We'd need to have a break for lunch. Eddie Austin, Farouk Qureshi of the 1975 champion Tampa Bay Rowdies are here with us today. And fellas, let me say this as well. Joey, you know about me. I bristle sometimes, and you guys got to take this walk with me, because we overuse the phrase Tampa Bay. And, you know, sometimes we'll talk about Tampa Bay this and Tampa Bay that. And I have to remind everybody, when I was young growing up, Tampa Bay was where we went fishing and crabbing, okay? Please be respectful and say the Tampa Bay area, because, you know, St. Pete and Clearwater are involved here too. And if you just say Tampa Bay, you're leaving them out. I will say, when the Rowdies burst on the scene in 75, and it was the Tampa Bay Rowdies, for a hot minute, I was all over it. I was like Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay, the Rowdies, Tampa Bay Rowdies. But now we've got 50 plus years. Farouk, please.
Well, our very first game was an indoor game on February 14th, 1975, in the Bayfront Center in St. Petersburg. And the promotion that night, each of the players had a single red rose. And after the introductions, we went up into the stands and gave these roses to
the pretty girls.
Or
the girls.
Or the women, yes. So we played our indoor seasons over in St. Petersburg. We played exhibition games over in Clearwater at the Clearwater High School. So
Tornadoes?
We would go to Lakeland. So we did essentially cover the entire Tampa Bay area, although we obviously played our outdoor games at the old Sombrero.
Excellent.
Now, I have to say, too, the Rowdies' marketing was genius. I mean, it caught the imagination
Fannies.
of folks. It was copied by a lot of teams. The Fannies, they had the Wowdies, which
the Wowdies. We didn't mention the Wowdies.
Yeah,
we
Loudies. Had an amazing looking uniforms. The what?
The Loudies.
The Loudies
the band.
was the band.
Oh my gosh, I'd forgotten the Loudies, Farouk. I'm so glad you're here today. Remind me of all this.
It was Gasparilla. When I tell my son, we marched in the Gasparilla parade, those miles as players.
9 miles?
Keeping the ball up in the air, juggling it. And people just couldn't believe
mesmerized.
It was like mesmerized. And there was a great song from Glasgow, Scotland that says, "I belong to Glasgow, dear old Glasgow town." Well, after one of our games, it was a big playoff game. All the players congregated at the 50-yard line. They brought out a microphone. They changed the words to "I belong to Tampa, dear old Tampa town." And
because 2 syllables, it just fit perfectly.
And they just sang it to the crowd. So it was a really, a connection with the fans that just was unbelievable.
Such an exciting time.
This is going to be too short. The hour's not going to be enough.
75 is the year that I came to Tampa. And
brothers, you were legal in all 50 states, if I'm not mistaken. That's the year you turned 21, my man.
Yeah, and the first thing that I was kind of hit with was the Rowdies. And I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know, have they been here before? I don't know. I didn't know anything about it. And and I'm not a big sports guy, but I was caught up in it. I thought it was just so cool. Everything about it I liked. Let me ask you this. You mentioned Fannies and
Wowdies and Loudies.
So when you're a young, good-looking soccer player, Are there groupies?
From Glasgow and from
Are
London?
there
With an accent to
Could
boot?
there be someone lurking out there who wants to get to know you more?
We might.
Boy,
wanna-
these guys are
we
getting
might wanna-
nervous
well,
right
Joe,
now
I want to take the
because-
fifth on that one.
I don't know about Farouk, but I know Ed well enough to know that he is a respected patriarch and grandfather now.
That's right. That's
but,
right. But the statute of limitations has expired. So let me go ahead and give a phone number out just in case anybody wants to. Joey, I can use my imagination. Pal,
Yeah, we'll
listen,
we'll
if
just
the-
leave it there.
Listen, if the highlight players, and I worked at Highlight for 3 seasons, if the highlight players who spoke nary a word of English, Basque, which isn't even Spanish, had girls circulating around at the club, you can only imagine what a fella from Glasgow who has that accent, and then Farouk, who has a fabulous name and a British accent. Stop it! Just stop it right now.
Yeah, there you go.
813-239-9663 if you'd like to join the conversation. I'll give it to you again. 813-239-9663. Send us a text. 813-433-0885. Emails are always welcome, and Jessica will gladly read those. DJ@WMNF.org. If you have a favorite rowdy remembrance, if you have a favorite rowdy memory, please, please, please call in and share that with us. We'd love to hear from you. We're talking today with Eddie Austin, Farouk Qureshi of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, 1975 Rowdies. Some of the other names, fellas, 105, 106 actually. Some of the other names that might jump out at you from the 1975 roster, there was John Boyle, there was Clyde Best, Stuart Scullion. Of course, we mentioned before Derek Smethurst, who scored 20 goals that magical season in 1975. The Eddie Austin, who's here with us today, Farouk Qureshi. Eddie Fermiani, that's another kind of fun name to say. Eddie Fermiani, Stuart Jump, and Arsene Auguste. I mean, I think what made it so much... Auguste. I think what made it so much fun is that this was like an international consortium
Yes, that's another
of
issue.
personalities
Yes.
that we all kind of gravitated towards. And I think it's because Tampa, because of its history with Sicily and Cuba and Spain, and we welcomed that. Of course, in 1976, Rodney Marsh joined the team, and that was another big name that a lot of us remember. And in 1977, how about these names? Does anybody remember Steve Wegerle or Winston DuBose? How about Wes McLeod? These were all names that we could just rattle off. We'd sometimes see them at the mall. They'd be at West Shore Mall. They'd be at Tampa Bay Mall later.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun to see you guys in the community. You guys brought so much joy to so many of us. Farouk.
Yeah, you forgot Mike Connell, who was 18 in 1975 when he came to us.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point, and I don't want to get corny with it, but the Rowdies looked like the symbol of America.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was like an immigrant team, if you want to look at it that way. And they looked different, including
They sounded different. They
all the
looked
players, and
they played a different game. Everything about it was
Absolutely.
different.
Now, here's
Eddie,
what
Eddie was going to say something. Eddie.
Yeah, go ahead.
and Dick Crippen was...
Channel 10 Sports.
Dick Crippen.
Channel 10 Sports.
He gave nicknames to the players. Like Mike Connell was Iron Mike Connell. And, Winston DuBose was Dancing Dew.
Derek was a stork.
Derek was a
Yes, he
stork.
was. Like the Mad Stork. The Stork, yeah.
all-
Because he was long. He was
all-
6'2" and angular. 6'2", 160 pounds.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Fun while winning.
So before we get to the Hall of Fame, which is what they really want to get to before this is over, I want you both to toot your own horns, and that's uncomfortable, I
Or
understand.
toot each other's. Like, okay,
You can
talk
toot
about,
each
you
other's.
talk about Eddie. Eddie, you talk about
But
Farouk.
I want you to talk a little bit about this concept earlier of your community involvement and contributions since the Rowdies here in Tampa.
Thank you.
You can either toot your own horn or toot each other's. I don't care.
Well, Farouk's resume in terms of community involvement is massive. He has done so much for this community. He is all about being a very humanistic person, help those that need help. He sat on a multitude of boards I can't even mention. He's just one of those persons that gives back to his community, and he's like, I admire him so much. But beyond that, I'm going to let him talk about himself in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I have given back. I've volunteered for Met Ministries, Meals on Wheels. I was on the board of the Boys and Girls Clubs and worked in youth soccer for years. So yeah, I mean, and all of our players, many players stayed here and made their lives and raised their families here and started businesses here. We have a great alumni group of Tampa Bay Rowdies that live here. But
Eddie, can we be invited to the next alumni gathering? I just want to be around you guys to share to share what we're sharing here today. I mean, I'm making a pitch right here on live radio.
Before you get to
we'd
the
love to join
awards,
you guys.
I know you want to talk about the awards. Before we get there, I want to just say that this I wanted to underscore this idea that something about that experience helped you become these community players that you are today. And do you want to address that a little bit?
Yeah, I think for me,
Yes.
when I was in college, my last year in 1974, I was selected to play for a team that was put together to represent the United States State Department in a tour of all the countries of Central America. And my own background, I grew up in a children's home in the UK. I lived in a children's home for 7 years. And so I know what it's like to be resilient and to overcome certain things. But when I went down to Central America to play, it really opened my eyes to how desperately poor some people are and the conditions in which people live, and I came back with an understanding of how fortunate I was to live here and to enjoy the life that I did and that I do. So that really was a catalyst in my life. I also, when I retired, went to work for the Caspers Company that owned, at that time, all the McDonald's restaurants in this area. And in my capacity working for the Caspers, I served on numerous boards, as Ed mentioned. And, when I left Caspers to go work at World Cup, and I'd offered Ed the job to come with me, but it was a temporary 2-year position, so he didn't take it, but he did agree to come and work as a consultant, and he managed all the day of game operations from the field. Did a magnificent job, and it was a tremendous experience for both of us. I serve on 2 boards, one of which is an international nonprofit called Love.Football, F-U-T-B-O-L, and we build safe soccer spaces, and we call it soccer space, but it encompasses all activities, whether it's dance, gymnastics. They have weddings on these spaces. We're in some of the most impoverished communities around the world, in the favelas in Brazil, we're in Mexico City, we're in Colombia, where kids play on toxic dumps. We'll go in and we'll build these spaces we engage the community in the effort so that when we leave, they have sweat equity and they'll continue to maintain it. Yeah. And the statistics on how these kids, do not do drugs, don't become members of gangs are just staggering. They're incredible.
So if I hear you correctly, Farouk, we need to point the finger directly at you and blame you for what comes out of Brazil every 4 years in the World Cup, because those are some of the most outstanding footballers on the planet.
Well, I think
it's a religion down there.
But it is in most every other country in the world. Eddie
True.
can talk to the field you played on in Glasgow, on the Cinder fields.
Please, Eddie, take us back.
Oh, the facilities here are fabulous, but Farouk's right. Giving the folks an opportunity to play on quality facilities, it gets them into the playing fields, kind of off the streets, and getting fitness, getting camaraderie with other friends and so forth. It's a kind of points it in a new direction.
And probably easy for communities to embrace because it doesn't need a lot of equipment. Yeah. You have a ball.
Pair of shoes and a ball.
Yeah, there you go.
Pair of shoes and a ball. I have a question. So when you're watching the World Cup today, and you realize that they have been growing that sod on a sod farm for the last 4 years, and it is absolutely pitch perfect. I said it just like that because the pitch is perfect. There's not a blade of grass. There's not a bump. There's not a nothing. And you look at that, you go, boy, did these guys have it easy, because you guys must have had to play on some pitches that were awful. I equate it to baseball fields or even the football fields in the 1960s when the NFL played on baseball fields. Sure. The Baltimore Colts played where the Baltimore Orioles played. They just leveled the mound, and I can remember guys going out for passes, and they're catching the ball where the shortstop would play in the clay, and it's awful. Now these cathedrals of football are amazing.
Pristine.
Speak to that.
Well, the game has come so far in this country. United States Soccer Federation now is just moving their headquarters from Chicago to Atlanta. And how many acres is there's going to be? Several hundred acres.
Yes.
There's going to be 24 fields, training there for the national team. And that all filters
You're getting serious, Eddie.
Down to the youth soccer leagues and all the competition there.
Not just the national team, all national teams,
All
from
national
the
teams.
under 15s all the way up to the full national team, men and women. The facility is crazy. Arthur Blank donated.
Owner of the Falcons.
Yes, significant amount of money. The founder of
Home Depot.
Chick-fil-A.
Is it Chick-fil-A?
Well, no, he's a founder of Home Depot. But Chick-fil-A
Also involved?
Yes, there's been a real coming together of a number of people to make this vision a reality. So, yeah, Ed's right. You know, it's on a totally different level.
Do either
now.
of you two afford yourself, stay with me, afford yourself the luxury of imagining that we make it to a quarterfinals, that we make it to a finals, or heaven forbid, Messi, Mbappe, Cristiano's not there, Ronaldo's not there, and we make it to a finals, even if we don't succeed and win the finals. But do you allow yourself to think about what that's going to do? That's going to add rocket fuel to an inferno that's already blazing hot. And that I think is why you see this activity in Atlanta now. We are on the precipice, I think, boys, of becoming a real powerhouse on the world stage with the Spains and the Portugals and the Brazils. Am I wrong? And the Argentinas. Am I wrong?
We've still got a ways to go, but
Okay.
we're moving in the right direction.
Okay.
As is Canada. You know, they're leading their group.
Mexico?
Mexico, correct.
North
So-
America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's get behind something. Let's get to something that you are both very involved in, and it's blazoned on.
Come on, Eddie.
You can't see it, folks, but
Yeah.
it's blazoned on
That's a great logo, by the way.
on Ed's shirt. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Hall of Fame. Just introduce that concept to our
the Tampa Bay
audience.
Soccer Hall of Fame was a concept that was started last year by a group of local business folks as a board. It was a dream that we had thought about because it was the 50th anniversary of the Rowdies winning the championship. And we had gotten together and said...
50th anniversary,
the
folks.
Rowdies
75.
winning yeah. And we got together as a group and said, we have a prestigious soccer history here. Let's create this board and project that would now honor and preserve the folks that built the game in Tampa Bay. We have all sorts of categories, pillars of the game, builders, referees, administrators, players, owners, and so forth. So we launched it last year. The dinner was at Higgins Hall, and we identified inductees.
No, wait a minute. Just hang on.
Yep.
So this hall, and by the way, get just a little closer into your. There you go. This you're talking about a global Hall of Fame.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Hall
Just
of
a
Fame.
Tampa Bay Hall
Tampa
of
Bay
Fame.
soccer.
And this is going to be an equivalent of trophies that would be given.
Yes, awards for and they were nominated by a committee and selected by a committee, and it's a mix of folks that built the game, and we're going to honor them and preserve their history.
And the dream, this will become an annual event.
Yes, every year.
Okay, all right.
So this year's event is at Monsignor Higgins Hall at St. Lawrence Catholic Church, August 13th. It starts at 5:30. You can get tickets by going to TampaBaySoccerHallOfFame.org, our website. And I'm going to let Farouk maybe chime in about the special folks that built the game in our community for this year.
Well, before we do that, you asked about the how we came to do this. Fred Sikorsky, who's the president of MI Homes in Tampa, and played at USF and played professionally as well, and Perry Vanderbeck, who was a teammate of ours and was the first high school player ever drafted by the North American Soccer League, came to the Rowdies. They are both from St. Louis, and St. Louis has a very rich history of soccer, and they have had a Hall of Fame in St. Louis, Soccer Hall of Fame in St. Louis for 60 years, I believe, and so they always attend this, and then they came up with the idea of, why don't we do this in Tampa, and then they recruited
the two guys could get things done. The two guys.
No. Believe me, Perry and Fred are dynamos. Sean Caniglio serves on our board. Con Foley, who also played at USF. Charles Gallagher, who's an attorney in St. Pete and is a big Rowdies fan. There are 8 of us who are currently on the board. Rick Reinke, who's formerly with the Rowdies as well in the administration, has also served on our board. So there's a small group of us, but we have a keen interest in making sure that this becomes successful and that we honor the people that have really contributed to the growth of soccer in the Tampa Bay area.
We've got about 4 minutes left, and I'm just so sad because this has been such an incredible experience, both meeting you guys and then hearing from you. And we want you to know that going down the road, if you've got something on your mind that's important to you guys, it's important to us, please let's keep in touch so we can keep the conversation going. Joey, that's a great name for a podcast, by the way.
Absolutely.
Conversation. And be careful, Farouk. Be careful, Eddie, because, you put it out there that this is going to be at Monsignor Higgins Hall at St. Lawrence, and we know that venue all too well, those of us that grew up in Tampa. After this broadcast, it may be standing room only. I'm just saying. It's a good thing to have, good problem to have.
Yes.
Okay. Because we do that. We have a tendency to do that. We'll give you the conversation bump,
that's right.
as
But
it were.
This is a community event, folks. We're not here
open
promoting.
to open to
this
everyone.
isn't an
correct?
advertisement for something.
No. It's open to everyone.
This is a community event, and
You love soccer? You love the Rowdies?
Tell us what will happen. You'll get to meet former Rowdies there, correct?
Former Rowdies, former local heroes for the game, from coaches that play, high school coaches. We're bringing in former professional players. Winston DeBose has been inducted. Danielle Fotopoulos played for the U.S. Women's World Cup team. Local coaches, Bob Bauman from Jesuit, Ray DePompo from Leto.
Cornelia Corbett, who owned the Rowdies, is being inducted this year. Perry, we're inducting Tom Fitzgerald posthumously. Tom was coach at University of Tampa and was coach at the Columbus Crew in Major League Soccer.
And that program is thriving now. The University of Tampa, the Spartans.
Yeah. And we're going to honor the 1981 University of Tampa NCAA Division II champion, Jay Miller, who was inducted into the Hall last year, was the coach of that team and will be here this year as well. So, we have a Passion Award, which is this year's going to go to Nancy Bataille, who's a longtime Rowdies fan.
And the Pioneer Award that goes to Dan Holcomb, who's initiated the sport of soccer at the University of South Florida.
This is you guys are you got your finger on the pulse. You couldn't be doing it at a better time because you're going to be riding that cresting wave of the World Cup. Yeah. Everybody's so excited right now. And, of course, again, you can't, those of us that have been in town for a minute or two, you can't say Tampa Bay Rowdies without getting a silly grin on your face because it was just so much fun. And you guys were good. I mean, it wasn't just frolicking fun, which it was. But you guys were good. You brought some good soccer to us. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So this event, folks, out there in the community, if you want to get... you support soccer in the area. You want to meet some people that have been involved in supporting soccer. This would be a great event to go to, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then go to our website and find out.
And what is that website?
TampaBaySoccerHallOfFame.org.
Tampa Bay Soccer Hall of Fame.org.
Yeah, you could have made it longer.
Yeah, no. There's a bit. You can shut that, you can close it down. Okay, Joey, real quick before we go.
Yes.
Say our thank yous to our peoples.
Yes. Well, first of all, as always, special thanks to Jessica.
Yep.
And we have Gabrielle taking phone calls today back there with her beautiful hair.
Who's coming
next? Coming up next is Sam I Am with It's the Music Wednesday.
Joey,
folks.
get better. Take care of yourself. Don't trip and fall no more.
Oh, I won't do that.
I need you here with me every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Eddie Austin, Farouk Qureshi.
Is that
You
pleasure?
guys have been listening to The Conversation. This is WMNF Tampa.